Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
And the rain is moving out, but we are seeing low cloud cover and fog developing across the area. I'll let you know if that will affect your morning commute.
Rising gas prices. The cost at the pump is climbing as the U.S. and Israel carry out strikes on Iran. Where prices stand now and what we could expect as we enter a new week.
Plus, budget crisis update. We're expecting to learn a little bit more about the financial situation in Rocky Mount today. What we know as the state auditor prepares to weigh in. We'll be watching that development. A lot of people have been looking at that story as well. So we'll dive in here in a little bit this morning on WRAL News. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you got enough rest after daylight saving time kicked in. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Renee Chu. Yeah, maybe you're a little grumpy about that lost hour sleep, but here's something to put you in a good mood. If you like the warm weather, we're continuing with that this week in a big way. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is tracking our next weather maker.
Yes, we do have temperatures in the 80s tomorrow and Wednesday. Will likely break some more record highs. Last night's rain is moving out, but it's still pretty moist out there. And so we're looking at fog developing in Pittsburgh. You can see the foggy conditions. We're seeing low cloud cover in some spots. The difference here is this is fog because you can tell the cloud is all the way down to the ground. So visibility is lower. Low cloud cover means just that the clouds are low, but visibility on the ground looks okay. 57 is our temperature as you're headed out the door this morning. So it's nice and warm. Visibility's dropped to half a mile in Rocky Mount as well as Clinton. It's a quarter of a mile in Roxborough and South Hill. That's where we would consider fog, but we're definitely seeing the low cloud cover developing in most places. Our temperatures are mainly in the mid to upper 50s as you're heading out the door. Any fog or low cloud cover with us this morning burns off by lunchtime, and we'll see highs in the upper 70s. We have some chances of rain ahead this week, especially with a front Thursday. I'll show you how much coming up.
We're still keeping our eye on traffic, Elizabeth. As you see here, I-40 at Airport Boulevard, a lot more cars out on the road here this morning as people are beginning their Monday morning commutes. You know, we've been kind of looking at the delay map to see if there are any potential upsets there in terms of how long it's going to take you to get into work. Haven't seen anything major, but if that changes, keep us tuned in all morning long. We will update you while you're on the road. 101.5 HD3.
New developments in the Middle East. Iran has announced it has a new supreme leader. Iranian media is reporting that Mojtaba Khamenei has been named supreme leader. He is the son of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed late last month when the U.S. and Israel launched its attacks on Iran. The IDF has threatened to kill any successor to the Ayatollah. President Donald Trump has insisted that he should be able to pick Iran's new leader and is calling this selection unacceptable.
And Renee, U.S. Central Command also confirmed a 7th service member died after Iran's initial strikes in the Middle East. The service member was seriously wounded during a March 1st attack on U.S. troops in Saudi Arabia. They died over the weekend from those injuries. More than 1,200 people have been killed in Iran since the war began, and nearly 400 in Lebanon. Around a dozen people have been killed in Israel. And this is why we have Laura Levine looking for new developments in the news feeds in the WRAL Live Center this morning. Laura, Israel says someone was killed in a new strike against them.
New this morning in the last 5 minutes, Chris, Israel stating that a man was killed overnight in a missile attack. That man was killed after being targeted in central Israel. This comes as we are getting new satellite images as promised here of the escalation in the Middle East as tension continues to rise here. It's showing some damage here to our Iranian military site and as major leadership shakes up there in Tehran as well, as we know. These images were released late last night following those airstrikes on an Iranian drone base in Avaz as well as military facilities in Isfahan. So we'll continue to stay on top of things here in the WRAL Live Center with the latest updates in the next few minutes.
Laura, thank you. We've all seen the price of gas rise quickly over the past week because of the war on Iran. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live in Raleigh. Kelsey, prices across North Carolina are up once again this morning.
Yes, Renee, the average price of gas here has gone up about 50 cents a gallon just in this past week. We'll go ahead and show you a live look now at gas prices here on Gorman Street. So gas is $3.39 at this BP station, and then it's the same price at the Exxon across the street. We'll also show you the latest prices from AAA this morning. The national average, $3.48 a gallon. The state average, $3.27 a gallon. Then our average here in Raleigh, just above that at $3.33 a gallon. Diesel prices are skyrocketing almost twice as quickly as gas. Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy explains how this could increase the cost of what you buy.
Diesel and jet fuel prices could mean that your next trip to the grocery store or the next trip you book could get more expensive as well. So not just gasoline, the price of jet fuel in some instances is up by over $1.50 a gallon. So airfares may go up in short order.
The WRAL News app can help you find some of the lowest gas prices anywhere. Just be sure to search for the fuel tracker in that app. Whenever you type in your zip code, it should be able to show you the best deals. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And we are hearing from North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis about the war on Iran. Tillis spoke to host Jake Tapper on CNN's State of the Union about reports that the Trump administration is weighing deploying U.S. troops to Iran. The senator says President Donald Trump has a 60-day window before he needs authorization from Congress. Boots on the ground would mean a longer-term conflict.
I feel like if we're starting to ramp up in that direction, it makes the 60-day window look less likely to achieve. So let's just be straight up with the American people. Let's move with a discussion about what an authorization for the use of military force looks like and provide the legitimacy to the president.
He warned the American people are questioning whether or not we should even be in this war. He says the administration needs to make its objectives and its goals clear.
Still ahead in less than 10 minutes, we hear from a Triangle area woman who was in Israel as a war in the Middle East broke out. Her story after she returned home safely. You can also look for updates on the war on Iran in our evening newscast on WRAL starting at 4 p.m.
Today, we are expecting to learn more about a state auditor's report in Rocky Mount. And this is after the city said it was dealing with a budget crisis last year. Let's bring in Ali Kadabar. She's been following that story for us this morning. Ali, this report comes after back-to-back years of overspending.
Overspending in millions of dollars, Chris, and that's why the state auditor's office got involved and started this investigation. And so today we're expecting to learn how the city spent millions of dollars over budget. And State Auditor Dave Bullock's office, they announced an investigation into the city's finances back in September. And that's when the city revealed it had been spending millions more than it brought in monthly for at least 2 years. The city said residents would have to pay more in natural gas and electricity. It also said it would reduce spending by at least $30 million for 10 months, and it paused projects and laid off employees. Now, the mayor and other council members say the problems may have stemmed from a revolving door of city managers and a change of finance directors. Bullock's office is expected to release their audit before the press conference at 9 a.m. That news conference at 9 a.m. WRAL will be there. Now, the Rocky Mount City Council will also be reviewing an independent audit this morning. We, of course, are following both of these sides. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kadabar, WRAL News.
Police in Durham are investigating after 3 people were injured in 2 separate shootings. Durham police got the call on East Pilot Street just before 10 a.m. yesterday, and officers found 2 men were shot there. Police were taken to the hospital. Police do not have any suspects at this time, and the investigation is ongoing.
Some officers in Wilmington are on leave this morning after shooting and killing a man they say was driving toward them. This happened early yesterday morning near the city's waterfront. The officers were at the scene of a different shooting inside a parking deck. And while officers were investigating, they saw a man inside a nearby car. And this person matched the suspect's description, according to investigators. While police say that he refused to get out and pulled forward toward those officers. Several officers fired their weapons, and the suspect was shot and later died. All officers involved are on administrative leave, which is standard, while the SBI is investigating. Meanwhile, over in Asheville, police are investigating after several people were shot and injured downtown there. This happened early yesterday morning. Asheville police did not specify how many victims there were. They only said there were several. These people were taken to the hospital and are expected to live. Police say they have a person of interest in that shooting.
New developments this morning in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Law enforcement says they are looking into new evidence near her home in Tucson, Arizona. Authorities say they are looking into a damaged utility box near the home. Investigators say the equipment could be connected to a reported internet outage in the area around the time she vanished. The outage may have disrupted nearby surveillance systems, potentially affecting any video evidence that could help track the suspect. Authorities say they are close to a breakthrough, but much of the evidence remains confidential. Nancy Guthrie was reported missing more than a month ago. The family is offering a $1 million reward for information leading to her recovery.
Your time is 6:09 this morning. Returning from Israel, a North Carolina woman is home after violence broke out in the Middle East. You'll hear her story about what happened as Israel and Iran began trading strikes.
Protests in New York. 2 people were arrested after an explosive device was thrown outside of the mayor's residence. What we've learned from police about the chaotic scene.
And check this out. In Carr Lake, we're looking at foggy conditions. The rain is over, but the leftover moisture is bringing fog in places. I'll let you know if you'll run into it on your commute. 6:13, there goes our front that brought the rain overnight last night, but it did leave some lingering moisture in the atmosphere, and so we are seeing some low cloud cover and fog in a few places. This is a look at our low cloud cover satellite map, and you can see almost everybody's seeing that now. It's starting to creep into Wake County, especially, say, southern and southwestern Wake County. We're looking at really foggy conditions over across parts of Chatham County and Moore County and up around the Virginia line. So we're going to be dealing with this maybe until around mid to late morning. Right now, visibility is lowest from Fayetteville to Clinton, to Rocky Mount, to South Hill, to Goldsboro, right around the triangle. It's not looking quite as bad. This is a look at Lewisburg, and you can definitely see some low cloud cover off in the distance as we look through town over toward the Tar River. Our temperature is heading out the door as cool as 48 in Roanoke Rapids and as warm as 62 in Southern Pines, but most of us are in the mid to upper 50s heading out the door. So for exercise, it's not bad out there. There's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, so it may feel a little muggy, but partly cloudy by lunchtime, 71, and our high this afternoon at 78. Coming up, we're going to talk more about our chances for rain this week and how much we could see.
In just a little bit, Elizabeth. Thank you. Taking our look right now at the roads here in the area, I-40 at Garner Road. You're seeing a lot more cars out there buzzing and moving about as they're beginning their Monday morning commute. We haven't seen any significant delays just yet. Could that change as the morning progresses? It's always possible. But this is why, if you are out on the roads in your morning commute, why not tune us in on the radio to know about delays the moment they happen? 101.5 HD3 all across the triangle.
A local woman is sharing her experience being trapped in Israel as the first strikes took place in Iran. She says she watched missiles outside of the hotel where she was staying and took shelter. We spoke with Lilia Austin after she returned to North Carolina over the weekend. She says she was with a group of about 100 women who are part of a Christian organization. They were traveling to Israel just one day before the war began. They quickly realized it was unclear when they would be able to return home as the Israeli airspace closed and many routes were unsafe to travel. Austin says the experience gave her a new perspective on what people in the Middle East are going through.
One of our tour guides, she was a mother of 3 children, and just to know I'm a mother of 3 children and I get to go home and make sure my kids are safe, but she doesn't get to go home and be with her kids because her kids are serving in the war. So that really just will always stay with me.
Eventually, the group was escorted from Israel to Cairo, where it was then safe to fly out. You can find an extended portion of Heidi Kirk's interview with Lilia Austin on the WRAL YouTube page. Just search WRAL on YouTube.
New this morning, a Woodstock-era icon, Country Joe McDonald, has died. McDonald was a defining voice in the anti-war movement in the 1960s, and he was known for his Vietnam protest anthem, "I Feel Like I'm Fixin' to Die" rag, and his Fish cheer at Woodstock in 1969. His band, Country Joe and the Fish, says that he died at his California home over the weekend from complications from Parkinson's disease. He was 84 years old.
The NYPD has confirmed that an explosive device was thrown outside the mayor's official residence at a protest over the weekend. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani and First Lady Rama Douaji were home at the time, but they were not hurt. The incident happened on Saturday during an anti-Islam protest led by conservative influencer Jake Lang. Lang's group was met with counter-protests, and the situation became chaotic. Police say one of the counter-protesters threw the explosive device. 2 men from Pennsylvania were arrested in connection to the devices. 4 other people were arrested in connection to the protest.
The U.S. military says it has carried out another strike on a suspected drug boat in the Eastern Pacific, and 6 people were killed. This happened yesterday. Officials say the boat was believed to be operated by designated terrorist organizations involved in drug trafficking. And this is one of dozens of strikes that have been carried out against suspected drug boats since September. At least 157 people have been killed in those strikes. Well, things are back to normal at Kansas City International Airport this morning after an evacuation there yesterday. So the airport was evacuated while authorities investigated what was called a potential threat. Terminals were evacuated, flights were diverted, and planes that were already landed were held on the taxiway there. Now, it's unclear what the threat was or where authorities even searched, but we do know that FBI Director Kash Patel later announced the threat was not credible. The airport reopened later in the day.
Happening today, an event in Durham to help you get your passport. It's designed for first-time passport holders to get a passport book or a passport card, which are both REAL ID compliant. The fair is at North Carolina Central Student Union today. It will be from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. today and tomorrow. Well, no need to travel anywhere for like some warm place because we're going to get the warmth right here. And Elizabeth, not just a little warm, but really, really warm in the coming days.
Again, so, it's really going to be hard to see our temperatures go back to normal. I think people won't know what to do when that happens.
Well, what's normal?
Eventually it will. So we're looking at record highs potentially for Tuesday and Wednesday, close to that record high each day. Thursday, we'll have a good chance for rain. We're going to see our next best chance for thunderstorms coming through, but we could also see just a stray shower either Tuesday or Wednesday. So we're a little unsettled between now and Thursday. And then turning cooler behind Thursday's front. It'll be near normal as well as breezy and dry, but temperatures will rebound in time for the weekend. What you're dealing with this morning is low cloud cover and fog in places, especially our western counties and our northern counties. Right now we have a southwest wind 6 miles per hour and a temperature of 57 in the Triangle. A quarter-mile visibility in Fayetteville, half a mile in Clinton and Rocky Mount, quarter-mile South Hill and Roxborough. We haven't seen much of an issue right around the Triangle area, but it could happen. The sun hasn't quite come up yet, and as it does, we might see a little more fog showing up. But of course, the cold front has moved on out, all the rain headed out with it, and so we look ahead to the next chance, and that comes with a stronger front on Thursday. Rain is likely late Wednesday into Thursday night, and temperatures will fall behind it, and it'll be a bit breezy to windy. Let's start with tomorrow, actually, because tomorrow morning we could actually see just a very slim chance of a shower. Most of tomorrow is nice and bright with some sunshine during the afternoon. And then on Wednesday, same story. We're looking at maybe a little low cloud cover, fog in the morning, and then some clearing in the afternoon with maybe an isolated sprinkle or two. Thursday is when the front comes through, and with that front, we could have a line of thunderstorms after lunchtime. So it's likely to be later in the day, the typical time that we see thunderstorms, and then that should move out for Friday. So better chance on Thursday at 60%, but really either tomorrow or Wednesday could bring just an isolated shower for us. How much rain total? Likely to be around half an inch to maybe a quarter of an inch. Not going to be a huge rainmaker for us, but definitely it's going to drop our temperatures. Temperatures will drop through the afternoon on Thursday, and we're back to near normal on Friday at 63. A chilly start to Friday morning at 37, but we do stay above freezing, and then a nice mild weekend again.
Look, as long as things keep warming up, I ain't mad about it, Elizabeth. Traffic-wise, here's a look outside at I-40 there at Jones Sausage Road. Quite a few vehicles that we're seeing there out and about as they're beginning their Monday morning commutes. Again, we haven't seen any real big delays happen, but there's, of course, the possibility that could happen as the morning progresses. And should that be the case, do not worry. We'll keep you tuned in all morning long on 101.5 HD3, or you should tune in on us so we can keep you informed all morning long. GPS trackers for kids. The promised peace of mind, but are they sharing more than families realize? 5 on your side, test the privacy risks parents need to know about. Plus, benefits for people, not profit. Why people came from all over to rally in Durham. If you see some breaking news, maybe you have a story tip or video or pictures of severe weather where you are, so long as you can do so safely, report it to us at WRAL.com/report it.
People from across the state gathered in downtown Durham over the weekend for a Communities Over Corporate Profits rally. The goal of the rally is to spotlight environmental progress benefits for people, not just profits. Event organizer Stephanie Gans says communities interstate are facing pressure from large-scale infrastructure projects and corporate development.
This is about giving folks hope, giving folks inspiration, and realizing people are organizing now, communities are organizing now to make those real wins happen.
Enfield Mayor Mondale Robinson was also in attendance.
This What's Trending report is sponsored by Call Dad AC and Heating.
624, an update on John Tesch's health and a close finish at the LA Marathon.
All right, let's dive in this morning on WRAL's What's Trending. So John Tesch is sharing an update on his 10-year-long battle with a rare form of prostate cancer. In an interview with Page Six, the legendary musician behind Roundball Rock says that he is still fighting after being diagnosed back in 2015. Tesch says that he was initially given 18 months to live, and he credits doctors treating him and his family for helping him get to this point. We're super happy that he is still with us. It's always fun whenever he stops by because, you know, he's part of us here. We love seeing him here on WRAL.
Yeah, his roots run deep here in Raleigh. Of course, he went to NC State, and also he got his career started here. So always great to see him when we talked with him last year when he was promoting his new album. Well, American Nathan Martin pulled off the victory in the closest ever LA Marathon. It was a dramatic finish when Martin caught up to runner Michael Kamau from Kenya. Kamau tried to extend his arms at the end, but it was not enough. It was the marathon's closest ever finish. Nathan Martin is the second American man to ever win the LA Marathon. Kamau, by the way, had collapsed. He was checked out by medical staff, but then he was later seen up and walking about with a volunteer.
Yeah, certainly hope he recovers just well. But again, it's just that competitive spirit to see how close that race was.
Yeah.
All right, so more than 1.5 million voters cast their ballots in North Carolina's primary elections this year. This potentially could upend the power dynamics at the state capitol. Incumbents lost on both sides of the aisle, and early voting results showed that unaffiliated voters took more Democratic ballots than in prior years. And President Donald Trump's endorsements yielded some mixed results. Our NC Capitol team compiled a list of things that we learned from these primary results. You can find that on our website, WRAL.com.
Rising gas prices. The cost at the pump is climbing as the U.S. and Israel carry out strikes on Iran. Where prices stand now and what we could expect as we enter a new week.
Plus, budget crisis update. What we are expecting to learn more about the financial situation in Rocky Mount today, as we know that the state auditor is preparing to weigh in.
And the rain is over, but low cloud cover and fog is developing across our area. I'll let you know if you'll run into it on your morning commute.